The cold wind cut through Kang Hana's thin jacket as she crouched behind a pile of metal scraps near the new Seoul spaceport. Her stomach growled loudly, reminding her that she had not eaten anything real in 2 days. Only the stale bread she found near the garbage bins yesterday morning. She watched the busy spaceport through a gap in the fence. Huge ships landed and took off every few minutes. Aliens of all kinds walked around with humans who worked as servants and translators. The humans always looked down at the ground and never spoke unless spoken to. That was how things worked now. Humans were the weakest race in the galaxy. Everyone knew that. Hana pulled her dirty cap lower over her face. She could not let anyone see her clearly. The police were still looking for her after what happened at the medical school 3 years ago. They said she was dangerous. They called her a witch because she could do things that normal people could not do. She remembered that day very clearly. A patient was dying from a rare disease. All the doctors had given up. Hana was just a student then, young and hopeful. She had touched the patient's hand to comfort him. But something strange happened. A warm feeling flowed from her fingers into his body. The next morning, he was completely healthy. The doctors could not explain it. Instead of celebrating, they were afraid. They ran tests on Hana. They found that her body worked differently from other humans. Her brain sent out strange signals that could somehow fix broken things in other living beings. The government labeled her as having an unregistered biological anomaly. That was a fancy way of saying she was a freak. Now she lived in the shadows, hiding from everyone. She had learned to control her strange ability, keeping it locked away deep inside. She would rather starve than let anyone discover her secret again. The sound of metal crashing against metal made Hana jump. She looked up to see smoke rising from the other side of the spaceport. A ship had crashed near the medical district. People were running and screaming. Security guards rushed toward the crash site. Hana knew she should stay hidden. Getting involved meant risking exposure. But something pulled her toward the accident. Maybe it was the human part of her that still cared about others, even when the world had given up on her. She crawled through a hole in the fence and ran toward the smoke. The crashed ship was not big, but it was clearly expensive. The metal was a strange blue color that seemed to glow even though it was broken. Only the richest aliens could afford ships made from that material. Security guards were trying to cut through the twisted door, but their tools could not get through the alien metal. Hana could hear voices inside. Someone was trapped and in trouble. She looked around. No one was watching her. Everyone was focused on the ship. She moved closer and pressed her ear against the hull. Inside, she could hear a deep voice speaking in a language that sounded like crystals breaking. But somehow she understood what he was saying. Please, someone help her. She is dying. My daughter is dying. Hana felt her heart break. A father was watching his child die and no one could help them. She thought about her own father, who had turned his back on her when the government declared her dangerous. She thought about all the people who had called her a monster. But this was different. This was a child. Before she could stop herself, Hana placed both hands on the ship's hull. The strange warm feeling started in her chest and flowed down through her arms. The metal began to change under her touch. It became softer, more flexible. She pushed, and a section of the wall bent inward like soft clay. The alien inside was tall and thin, with skin that looked like it was made of blue crystal. His clothes were torn and bloody, but he was alive. In his arms, he held a small girl who looked just like him, except her crystal skin was cracking and turning gray. The alien stared at Hana with wide eyes. You are human.
How did you?
Your daughter, Hana said, ignoring his question. What is wrong with her? Stellar decay syndrome, the alien said, his voice full of pain. There is no cure. She has maybe 1 hour left. Hana had never heard of this disease, but she could see that the child was dying. The little girl's breathing was weak and getting weaker. Her crystal skin was losing its glow. Let me try to help her, Hana said. The alien shook his head. Human medicine cannot help. Our best doctors have tried everything. I am not a doctor, Hana said, but maybe I can do something different. She reached toward the dying child. The alien pulled back at first, but then he looked at his daughter's face and saw how little time was left. Slowly, he let Hana touch the little girl's hand. The moment Hana's fingers made contact with the child's crystal skin, everything changed. The warm feeling exploded out of Hana like a flood. It was stronger than it had ever been before. Her whole body began to shake as energy poured out of her and into the dying child. The alien girl's gray skin began to glow again. The crack started to heal and close. Her breathing became stronger and deeper. The crystal father watched in shock as his daughter's eyes opened and looked up at him. "Papa?" the little girl said in her musical voice. Hana collapsed backward, exhausted. She had never used so much energy before. "The alien caught her before she hit the ground." "What? What did you do?" he whispered. "How did you cure her? That disease has killed millions of my people. Our greatest scientists say it cannot be healed." Hana looked at the healthy child and then at the alien father. For the first time in years, she felt proud of what she could do instead of ashamed. "I do not know how it works," she said honestly. I can sometimes fix things that are broken." Security guards were getting closer. Hana could hear their heavy boots running toward the crash site. She tried to stand up, but her legs were too weak. "You must go," the alien said. "They will want to study you, experiment on you. I know how your government treats people like you." "People like me?" Hana asked. The alien looked at her with new understanding. "People who are different. People who have gifts that others fear." He helped her to her feet. "My name is Vox Taman. This is my daughter Nari. We will not forget what you did today." "Kang Hana," she said simply. "Kang Hana," Taman repeated. "You saved my child when no one else in the galaxy could. I owe you a debt that can never be repaid." The security guards were almost there. Hana turned to run, but Taman called after her. "Find me tomorrow at the Celestial Hotel, room 2847. I want to help you the way you helped us." Hana nodded and ran toward the fence. As she escaped back into the shadows where she belonged, she could hear Taman explaining to the guards that his daughter had recovered on her own. He was protecting her secret, just like she had protected his child's life. For the first time since she had been branded a witch and cast out from society, Hana felt something she had almost forgotten. She felt hope. Hana spent the whole night thinking about the alien father's words. She sat in her usual hiding place under the old bridge, watching the stars through the broken concrete above her head. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the little girl's face changing from gray to bright crystal blue. She had saved a child's life. A child from another world with a disease that their best doctors could not cure. But Hana was just a homeless human that everyone called a witch. How was that possible? The next evening, she stood outside the Celestial Hotel. It was the most expensive place in New Seoul. The building rose high into the sky like a golden tower. Aliens in fancy clothes walked in and out of the front doors. Human servants followed behind them, carrying bags and keeping their heads down. Hana looked at her dirty clothes and broken shoes. She did not belong in a place like this, but she had promised to meet Taman. Maybe he could give her answers about what had happened. The security guard at the front door was human. He looked at Hana with disgust when she tried to walk past him. "Hey, you cannot go in there," he said, grabbing her arm. "This place is for important people only." "I am meeting someone," Hana said quietly. "Room 2847, the guard laughed. "Sure you are. Get out of here before I call the police. Let her pass." The voice came from behind the guard. Taman walked toward them, but he looked very different now. He wore expensive clothes made from the same glowing material as his crashed ship. His crystal skin was perfectly clean and bright. This was not just any alien, he was obviously very rich and powerful. The human guard's face went white with fear. "I am sorry, sir. I did not know she was with you." Taman ignored the guard and looked at Hana. "You came. I was not sure you would." "I keep my promises," Hana said. Taman smiled. "Come, there is much we need to talk about." He led her to a special elevator that only went to the top floors of the hotel. Hana had never been in anything so fancy. The walls were made of smooth metal that showed her reflection clearly. She looked even worse than she had thought. "Do not worry about how you look," Taman said, as if he could read her mind. "What matters is what you can do." The elevator opened into a huge room that took up the entire top floor of the hotel. Giant windows showed the whole city spread out below them. Hana could see the spaceport where she lived, but it looked so small from up here. "Nari, come meet our guest," Taman called. The little alien girl ran into the room. She looked perfectly healthy now. Her crystal skin glowed with bright blue light and her eyes sparkled like stars. She was beautiful. "Are you the lady who made me better?" Nari asked in her musical voice. Hana knelt down to the child's level. "How do you feel?" "I feel great. Papa says I was very sick, but I do not remember being sick. I just remember sleeping and then waking up and feeling wonderful." Hana looked up at Taman. "She really is completely cured?" Better than cured, Taman said. Sit down. Let me show you something that will surprise you. He led Hana to a large table covered with papers and computer screens. The screen showed pictures of alien bodies and lots of numbers that Hana did not understand. These are the test results from Nari's doctors, Taman explained. Before yesterday, her body was dying from stellar decay syndrome. This disease attacks the crystal matrix that makes up our skin and bones. It always kills us within days. There has never been a cure. He pointed to one of the screens. But look at this. After you touched her, not only did the disease disappear, her crystal structure became stronger than it has ever been. She is now healthier than most adult crystallines. Hana stared at the screen. I do not understand what this means. It means you did not just heal her. You made her better than she was before she got sick. Taman sat down across from her. I have spent 2 days researching human biology. Do you know what I found? Hana shook her head. Most species in the galaxy think humans are weak because your bodies are so chaotic and unpredictable. We pride ourselves on having perfect, ordered biological systems. But what if we have been wrong this whole time? Taman pulled up more screens showing human brain scans and alien brain scans side by side. Look at this. Alien brains follow clear patterns. They are organized and efficient. But human brains are completely different. They are messy and random, with connections going everywhere. We thought this made you stupid. But what if it actually makes you more adaptable? Hana looked at the pictures, trying to understand. Adaptable how? Your chaotic neural patterns can interface with any other biological system in the galaxy. You can understand and repair genetic structures that we cannot even see properly. What we called human weakness is actually human strength. Nari ran over and climbed onto her father's lap. Papa, does this mean the nice lady is special? Very special, Taman said, hugging his daughter. She might be the most important human in the galaxy. Hana felt scared by those words. I just want to be left alone. I do not want to be important. I understand, Taman said gently, but I'm afraid it might be too late for that. He showed her another screen. This one displayed news reports from across the galaxy. The headlines were all about Nari's impossible recovery. Someone had leaked the story to the galactic media. The video footage from the spaceport security cameras is spreading everywhere, Taman said. I tried to keep it secret, but someone in the government sold the information. Hana read the news reports with growing fear. Words like miracle cure and human anomaly appeared over and over. Some articles called her a hero. Others called her dangerous. What does this mean for me? She asked. Taman's expression became serious. It means that every major power in the galaxy now knows you exist. Some will want to study you. Others will want to use you. Some might even want to eliminate you because you represent a threat to everything they believe about human inferiority. I have to run away, Hana said, standing up quickly. Where will you go? Taman asked. They will search every planet in human space. You cannot hide from the entire galaxy. Hana felt trapped. For 3 years, she had successfully stayed hidden on one planet. Now there was nowhere in the universe where she would be safe. There is another option, Taman said quietly. What? You could stay here with us. I have enough money and influence to protect you while we figure out what your abilities really mean. And, he paused, I think you might not be the only human who can do what you do. What do you mean? Taman pulled up one final screen. It showed a map of Earth with dozens of red dots scattered across the continents. Over the past 2 days, there have been reports of other mysterious healings. A human dock worker in Tokyo cured an alien's broken bones just by touching them. A human janitor in London fixed a rare alien disease that doctors said was impossible to treat. A human beggar in Cairo healed 3 different alien species in 1 day. Hana stared at the map. There are others like me? It appears that news of your success is inspiring other humans to try using abilities they had been hiding. Or maybe the genetic potential was always there, waiting for the right trigger. Nari looked up at Hana with her bright crystal eyes. Will you stay with us? I like you. Hana looked at the little girl she had saved, then at Taman, who was offering her protection, and finally at the news reports that showed her face being broadcast across the galaxy. Her quiet life as a hidden outcast was over forever, but maybe that was not entirely a bad thing. For the first time since she had been branded a witch, someone was telling her that her strange abilities might actually be valuable instead of dangerous. Okay, she said finally, I will stay. But I want to help find these other humans like me. If they are anything like I was, they are probably scared and alone right now. Taman smiled. I was hoping you would say that. Because I think we are about to discover that humans are much more than anyone in the galaxy ever imagined. 3 days after the news broke across the galaxy, strange ships started arriving at Earth. They came from every corner of known space carrying aliens that Hana had never seen before. Some looked like walking trees with silver bark. Others had too many arms and eyes that glowed in the dark. All of them wanted the same thing, to find the human who had done the impossible. Hana watched the news reports from Taemin's hotel room, feeling more scared with each passing hour. The Earth government was trying to control the situation, but they were failing badly. More alien ships arrived every day, and Earth's small defense fleet could not stop them all. "They are calling you the Bridgewalker," Taemin said, reading from his communication device. "Some alien religious groups think you are a prophesied figure who will connect all species in the galaxy." "That sounds crazy," Hana said. "Yes, but crazy people are often the most dangerous ones," Taemin replied. "The rational ones just want to study you or hire you. The crazy ones want to worship you or kill you." Nari was playing with her toys on the floor, seemingly unaware of the chaos happening because of what Hana had done for her. She looked so normal and happy that it was hard to believe she had been dying just a few days ago. "Papa, why do all those ships want to meet Hana?" Nari asked without looking up from her toys. "Because she is very special, and they do not understand how special yet," Taemin answered carefully. A loud beeping sound came from Taemin's communication device. His face went pale as he read the message. "What is it?" Hana asked. "The Hegemony Council has issued an official statement. They want you brought to their headquarters for examination and evaluation. They are calling it a request, but everyone knows it is really a demand." Hana did not know much about galactic politics, but even she had heard of the Hegemony Council. They were the 5 most advanced alien species in the galaxy, and they made all the important decisions about trade, war, and law. What they wanted, they usually got. "What happens if I refuse?" Hana asked. "They will probably declare Earth a rogue planet and blockade all human space until you surrender," Taemin said grimly. Before Hana could respond, the hotel room's security system started making warning sounds. Red lights flashed on the walls. "Sir, we have a problem," came a voice through the speakers. It was Taemin's head of security. "Multiple ships have surrounded the building. They are demanding that you hand over the human." Taemin pressed a button on the wall. "How many ships?" "At least 12. Different species, but they seem to be working together. Sir, I recommend immediate evacuation to your private ship." Hana felt her heart racing. "They found me so fast." "I have been expecting this," Taemin said, moving quickly around the room and gathering important items. "I have a plan, but we need to leave right now." "Where will we go?" Hana asked. "My personal space station near Europa. It has the best security system money can buy, and it is outside any government's legal authority." They took a hidden elevator down to the hotel's private landing pad. Taemin's ship was sleek and beautiful, much larger than the one that had crashed. As they climbed aboard, Hana could see other ships hovering around the building like hungry vultures. "There she is," someone shouted from one of the alien ships. "Do not let her escape." Several ships moved to block their path, but Taemin's pilot was skilled. The ship twisted and dove between buildings, using the city's tall towers as cover. Energy blasts from the pursuing ships lit up the sky behind them. "Will we make it?" Hana asked, holding Nari tight as the ship shook from near misses. "My pilot is the best in this system," Taemin said confidently. But Hana could see worry in his crystal eyes. They broke through Earth's atmosphere and into open space. More ships were waiting for them there, dozens of them from different alien species. Some ships belonged to governments. Others had the marks of criminal organizations. A few looked like they belonged to religious groups. "Everyone wants a piece of you," the pilot called back to them. "But I know a few tricks they do not." The ship suddenly disappeared. At least that was how it felt to Hana. One moment she could see stars and enemy ships all around them. The next moment everything outside was completely black. "Stealth technology," Taemin explained. "Very expensive and very illegal in most systems, but useful for situations like this." They traveled in darkness for several hours. Hana tried to sleep, but her mind was too full of worry. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the faces of all those aliens who wanted to capture her. "Taemin," she said quietly, "maybe I should just turn myself into the Hegemony Council. If I cooperate, maybe they will leave Earth alone." "That would be a mistake," Taemin said firmly. "I know how the Council thinks. They see you as either a tool to be used or a threat to be eliminated. Either way, you would never be free again. But what about all the other humans like me? The ones who are just discovering their abilities? They will be in danger because of what I did. Taman was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "Actually, that might be our advantage." "What do you mean?" "The council is used to dealing with one person at a time. One genius scientist, one powerful leader, one dangerous criminal. But what if there are hundreds of humans with abilities like yours? What if there are thousands?" Hana thought about the map Taman had shown her, with all the red dots marking places where humans had performed impossible healings. "You think there might be that many of us?" "I think we are about to find out," Taman said. "Because while the council has been focused on capturing you, I have been using my resources to search for others." He pulled up a new display that showed Earth from space. But instead of dozens of red dots, there were now hundreds, maybe thousands. In the past 3 days, reports of human healers have increased by over 2,000%. It is like your success gave them permission to stop hiding. Hana stared at the display in amazement. "All of those people have abilities like mine?" "Different abilities, but yes. Some can heal diseases like you do. Others can fix broken technology just by touching it. Some seem to be able to communicate with any alien species without translation devices. A few have even shown the ability to adapt their own bodies to survive in alien environments. The government must know about this by now." "They do, and they are terrified. The Earth Defense Force has started secretly testing their entire military for genetic anomalies. They want to build an army of humans with special abilities." "That sounds horrible," Hana said. "It gets worse. Some alien governments are demanding that Earth hand over all humans with abilities. Others are threatening to invade if Earth tries to use these humans as weapons. And criminal organizations are kidnapping humans off the street to test them." Nari, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. "Hana, are you scared?" Hana looked at the innocent child and felt a strange calm come over her. "Yes, I am scared. But I think maybe being scared is okay, as long as we do not let it stop us from doing what is right." "What is the right thing to do?" Nari asked. That was the question that had been bothering Hana since this all started. What was the right thing to do when you had power that could help people, but using it put everyone in danger? "I think," Hana said slowly, "the right thing is to find all these other humans and make sure they are safe. And then we need to show the galaxy that we are not tools or weapons or threats. We are just people who want to help." Taman smiled. "That is exactly what I was hoping you would say, because I have been working on a plan to do just that." Their ship finally came out of stealth mode near a large space station, hidden behind one of Europa's moons. It was bigger than any building Hana had ever seen, with multiple docking bays and defense systems that looked very advanced. "Welcome to Haven Station," Taman said. "It will be our base of operations while we figure out how to save your species from becoming the galaxy's most wanted fugitives." As their ship docked, Hana realized that her life as a hidden outcast was truly over. But maybe that was not such a bad thing. For the first time since she was a child, she had a purpose that was bigger than just surviving from day to day. Now she had to help save not just herself, but every human who had ever been called different or dangerous for having abilities that others could not understand. Haven Station was unlike anything Hana had ever seen. The corridors were wide and clean, with windows that showed the stars and Jupiter's bright surface. But what surprised her most were the people living there. They were not all aliens. Many of them were humans. How did they get here? Hana asked Taman as they walked through the main living area. She counted at least 30 humans of different ages, all talking and laughing together like they were old friends. "I have been collecting them for the past week," Taman explained. "Every time we heard about a human with special abilities being threatened or captured, my people went to help them escape." A young man with kind eyes approached them. He looked to be about Hana's age, with short black hair and clothes that had seen better days. "You must be Hana," he said with a warm smile. "I am Park Minho. I have been waiting to meet you." "Are you like me?" Hana asked. "Do you have healing powers too?" Minho laughed. "Not healing, no, but I can do other things." He walked over to a broken communication device on a nearby table. The screen was cracked and dark. When Minho placed his hands on it, the device began to glow. The screen fixed itself and came to life, showing news reports from across the galaxy. "I can repair any technology just by touching it," Minho explained. "But until a few days ago, I thought I was the only human who could do something like this." There are many others here with different gifts, Taman said. Come, let me show you. They walked through the station meeting more humans. A woman named Kim Jisoo could speak to any alien species without needing a translator. She was having a conversation with a tree-like alien in its own language, even though she had never seen that species before. An older man named Lee Dong-hyun could change his body to survive in different environments. As they watched, he held his breath and jumped into a pool of water. His skin turned blue-green and gills appeared on his neck, letting him breathe underwater like a fish. A teenage girl named Choi Minji could sense the emotions of any living being, even aliens whose feelings worked completely differently from humans. She was comforting a crying alien child whose parents had been killed in a space battle. How did you find all of them? Hana asked in amazement. They found each other, Minho said. When the news about you spread, humans with abilities started reaching out through secret networks. We realized we were not alone anymore. But why did you bring them here? They were probably safer hiding on Earth. Taman's expression became serious. Actually, they were not safe at all. Show her the reports. Minho activated a large display screen that showed news from Earth. The headlines made Hana's blood run cold. Human abductions increase 400%. Alien crime syndicates kidnapping humans for testing. Earth government begins forced registration of genetic anomalies. Mysterious human abilities spark galactic panic. It got bad very quickly, Minho explained. After your story went public, every criminal organization in the galaxy descended on Earth. They are kidnapping humans off the streets and testing them for special abilities. If they find someone with powers, they sell them to the highest bidder. And the Earth government is not helping, added Jisoo, who had finished her conversation with the tree alien. They are so scared of making the alien governments angry that they are actually helping with the kidnappings. They call it voluntary relocation for testing, but it is really forced capture. Hana felt sick. This is all my fault. If I had not saved Nari, none of this would be happening. No, said a firm voice from behind her. An elderly human woman walked toward them, supported by a walking stick. Despite her age, her eyes were bright and alert. This was always going to happen eventually. You just made it happen sooner. This is Dr. Song Haeun, Taman said respectfully. She used to work for the Galactic Medical Council before they exiled her for her theories about human biology. What theories? Hana asked. Dr. Song sat down in a chair and looked at all the humans gathered around her. 20 years ago, I proposed that humans were not actually a weak species. I said that your chaotic biology was an evolutionary advantage that would eventually surpass all other species in the galaxy. What happened when you published this theory? They laughed at me, called me crazy, said I was just a human supremacist trying to make my own species feel important. The medical council stripped me of my credentials and banned me from practicing medicine on any alien world. Dr. Song looked directly at Hana. But I was right, was I not? You proved that in 3 days. A human with no training and no technology cured a disease that the galaxy's best doctors said was impossible to treat. I still do not understand how I did it, Hana admitted. That is because you are thinking about it wrong, Dr. Song said. You keep calling it a special power or a gift. But it is not. It is just human biology working the way it was meant to work. She gestured to all the other humans in the room. Look around you. Every person here can do something that aliens consider impossible. But for humans, it should be normal. Normal? Minji, the girl who could read emotions, seemed confused. But most humans cannot do these things. Most humans have been taught not to do these things, Dr. Song corrected. For centuries, your species has been trying to copy alien technology and alien ways of thinking. You have forgotten what makes you human, Taman nodded. She is right. My research shows that all humans have the genetic potential for these abilities, but your society suppresses them because you think being more like aliens will make you more successful. So how do we help other humans remember? Hana asked. Before anyone could answer, alarms started blaring throughout the station. Red warning lights flashed on the walls. Sir, came a voice over the communication system. We have multiple ships approaching. They are broadcasting demands for you to surrender all humans on the station immediately. Taman ran to a control panel and activated the external cameras. On the screens, they could see dozens of alien warships surrounding Haven Station. It looks like every major government in the galaxy is represented, Taman said grimly. The Hegemony Council, the Stellar Federation, the Crystal Empire, even the Hive Worlds. They have all come together just to capture you. How did they find us so fast? Minho asked. It does not matter, Dr. Song said, standing up despite her age. What matters is what we do next. We surrender, Hana said quietly. I will not let all of you get hurt because of me. No, said every other human in the room at the same time. We are not going back to hiding, Jisoo said firmly. We are not going back to pretending to be weak so that aliens feel comfortable. We stick together, added Dongyun. All of us. Young Nari, who had been quietly watching everything, tugged on Hana's sleeve. Hana, remember what you told me about being scared but doing the right thing anyway? Hana looked down at the little alien girl who had started all of this. Yes, what is the right thing to do now? Hana looked around the room at all the humans who had found each other after years of thinking they were alone and strange. She thought about all the humans still on Earth who were being hunted and captured. She thought about the galaxy that had spent so long believing humans were weak and worthless. The right thing, Hana said slowly, is to show them what humans can really do when we work together. Dr. Song smiled. Finally, someone understands. But how? Taemin asked. There are hundreds of warships out there. Even with all your abilities, you are still just 30 people. 30 people who can do impossible things, Hana corrected. And maybe it is time the galaxy learned that sometimes impossible things are just what humans call Tuesday. The alien ships were getting closer, their weapons charging for attack. But for the first time since this adventure began, Hana was not afraid. She was surrounded by humans who understood what she could do, and more importantly, what they could all do together. The galaxy was about to get its first real lesson in why underestimating humans was always a mistake. The alien warships surrounded Haven Station like a metal wall. Their weapons were charged and ready to fire. Inside the station, 30 humans stood together in the main control room, looking at the screens that showed their enemies. This is Admiral Thex of the Hegemony Fleet, came a voice through the communication system. You have exactly 10 minutes to surrender all humans with genetic anomalies. If you refuse, we will destroy your station and everyone on it. Taemin looked at Hana with worried eyes. I have good defenses, but not good enough to fight the entire galaxy. We are not going to fight them, Hana said calmly. We are going to do something much better. What? Asked Minho. Hana turned to face all the humans in the room. Dr. Song said that our abilities are not special powers. They are just human biology working normally. But what if we could make them work even better? I do not understand, said Jisoo. What if we combined our abilities? What if we worked together like one big human instead of 30 separate people? Dr. Song's eyes went wide with understanding. Quantum biological linking. I theorized about it 20 years ago, but I never thought it was actually possible. What is quantum biological linking? Asked young Minji. It means connecting your chaotic neural patterns with other humans, Dr. Song explained excitedly. If it works, you could share abilities and make them much stronger. Has anyone ever tried it? Taemin asked. No, Dr. Song admitted. It was just a theory, and it could be very dangerous. 8 minutes remaining, announced Admiral Thex. Hana looked around the room at all the humans who had become like family to her in just a few days. I know it is dangerous, but I think this is why we all found each other. Not to hide, but to show the galaxy what humans can really do. I am willing to try, said Minho immediately. Me too, said Jisoo. One by one, every human in the room agreed to attempt something that had never been done before. How do we start? Asked Dongyun. Hold hands, Dr. Song said. Form a circle, and try to feel the same warm energy that you use for your individual abilities. The 30 humans joined hands in a large circle around the control room. Little Nari watched from the side with her father, her crystal eyes wide with wonder. At first, nothing happened. Hana felt the familiar warmth in her chest, but it seemed small and weak compared to the massive fleet surrounding them. Then Minho squeezed her hand. I can feel something, he whispered. The warmth in Hana's chest suddenly grew stronger. She could feel Minho's ability to repair technology flowing into her, mixing with her healing power. Then Jisoo's translation abilities joined the mix. Then Donghyun's adaptation skills. One by one, every human's special ability flowed into the group connection. 5 minutes remaining. But the humans were no longer listening to Admiral Thex. They were lost in the most amazing feeling any of them had ever experienced. Through their linked minds, they could see and understand things that no single human had ever comprehended. They could see the quantum-level structure of every alien species in the fleet. They understood how different biologies worked, how alien minds thought, how their technologies functioned. Most importantly, they could see something that the aliens could not see about themselves. The aliens were sick. Not physically sick, but biologically stuck. For millions of years, each species had tried to make themselves more perfect, more specialized, more efficient. But in doing so, they had lost the ability to adapt and grow. They were like beautiful machines that could only do one thing very well, while humans were like wild gardens that could grow anything. "I can see them all," whispered Minji, tears running down her face. "They are so scared and lonely. Each species thinks they are better than everyone else, but deep down they know they are trapped in bodies and minds that cannot change." 2 minutes remaining. Prepare to fire. Hana felt the combined power of 30 humans flowing through her. It was more energy than she had ever imagined possible. But instead of using it to defend themselves, she had a different idea. "What if we do not fight them?" she said to the group through their mental connection. "What if we heal them instead?" "Heal them from what?" asked Minho, from being stuck. "From being unable to grow and change. What if we give them what we have? The ability to adapt." "That is impossible," said Dr. Song. "You cannot change an entire species' biology." "Maybe one human cannot," Hana replied. "But maybe 30 humans working together can do anything." 1 minute remaining. The humans focused all their combined energy outward, toward the alien fleet. But instead of attacking, they tried to share their greatest gift, the beautiful chaos of human adaptability. What happened next surprised everyone, including the humans. The quantum energy field generated by 30 linked human minds spread out from Haven Station like invisible waves. When it reached the alien ships, something unprecedented occurred. The rigid, specialized biology of every alien in the fleet began to change. Not in harmful ways, but in wonderful ways. Crystalline aliens like Taman found that their perfect crystal skin could now bend and flow like human skin while keeping its strength. Tree-like aliens discovered they could communicate with emotions as well as words. Machine-like aliens realized they could feel creativity and imagination for the first time in their species' history. What is happening to us?" came Admiral Thex's confused voice over the communication system. Through their connection, the humans could feel the wonder and fear of thousands of aliens experiencing biological flexibility for the first time. Some were terrified by the change. Others were amazed by new sensations and abilities they had never imagined possible. "We gave you a gift," Hana said, speaking for all the humans through the communication system. "We shared our adaptability with you." "This is impossible," Admiral Thex protested, but his voice sounded different, more emotional, more alive. "Impossible is just another word for something that has not happened yet," Hana replied. Over the next several hours, reports came in from across the galaxy. The quantum wave had spread far beyond the fleet around Haven Station. It had reached alien worlds throughout known space, touching billions of beings and giving them their first taste of true biological freedom. Some aliens panicked and tried to reverse the changes, but most embraced their new flexibility with joy. For the first time in their species' histories, they could grow and change and become something more than they had been before. The Hegemony Council held an emergency session, but instead of declaring war on humanity, they did something that shocked everyone. They officially dissolved themselves. The old system was based on the idea that some species were naturally superior to others, explained former council leader Vex in a galactic broadcast. But humans have shown us that superiority comes not from perfection, but from the ability to adapt and grow. We can no longer claim to be the most advanced species when we have been the most limited ones. A new galactic government formed within weeks. Instead of being ruled by the 5 most rigid species, it was led by representatives from every species working together. Humans were not given control, but they became the mediators, the ones who helped different species understand and work with each other. Hana returned to Earth, but not as a fugitive. She came back as Earth's first galactic ambassador. The homeless woman who had once been branded a witch was now one of the most respected people in the galaxy, but she never forgot where she came from. Every week she visited the places where homeless and outcast people lived, looking for others who might have hidden abilities. She established healing centers in the poorest neighborhoods, staffed by humans and aliens working together. Taemin kept his promise and built healing centers throughout the galaxy. His daughter Nari grew up learning from both alien technology and human adaptability. She became the first alien to successfully develop human-like biological flexibility, proving that the gift could be learned as well as shared. Dr. Song was reinstated to the Galactic Medical Council and became the head of a new department dedicated to studying adaptive biology. Her old theories were now considered the most important scientific breakthrough in galactic history. Years later, Hana stood once again in the new Seoul spaceport, where her adventure had begun. But everything was different now. Humans and aliens worked side by side as equals. Healing centers operated on every corner. Children of different species played together, sharing abilities and learning from each other. She watched a young human girl teaching an alien boy how to fix a broken toy just by touching it. The boy's species had never been able to repair things before, but now he was learning. When he succeeded, both children laughed with joy. An elderly alien approached Hana. His species was one she did not recognize. Apparently, they had been hiding in distant space for centuries, afraid to contact other species because they thought they were too different. "Ambassador Hana," he said in perfect human language, "my people have finally decided to join the galactic community. We heard that differences are celebrated here now, not feared." Hana smiled. "Everyone is welcome. Being different is what makes us strong." As she walked through the spaceport that had once been a symbol of human servitude, Hana reflected on how much had changed. The galaxy had learned that evolution was not about becoming perfect, it was about becoming adaptable. Strength did not come from having the best technology or the most specialized,